I got a lot more information about him from being with him for that 8 hours a week, that rule change that we had this year. So, we kind of anticipated that. I thought the weather was going to be great today, and then to have to go inside and how muggy it was, I thought was a really good challenge. And to see the way that they prepared, we had nobody cramp up, no issues. That way was positive. And then first time being out there was great. It was just great to see the guys' enthusiasm, excited to be back playing football. And it's amazing, NCAA rules, right? Today was our first practice with football since spring ball, and Chris had 13 scrimmages this summer with his basketball team. So we're 12 behind the hoops team. Here we go. So no, it's good to be back with football.
You got a pretty big list of injured guys, especially at receiver. What do you think about those guys who are limited, and do you compensate with any other players?
Well, I probably gave you TMI. You got way too much information today, so now you don't have to bother me anymore. So the limited, I would not categorize as an issue. The guys that are out, I don't think that's a problem at all.
Do you have any freshmen who? You have some athletes in that group, but no natural receivers, do you?
Well, we're going to really take a hard look at Solomon and see where things are at. I'm not allowed to talk about specific names coming up in this class, but it was definitely a group that we hard targeted. The guys that are going to be seniors in high school right now, from a standpoint of receiver depth. We wanted to get a little distance between our classes, and we're really stoked about that group we've got committed right now. But more importantly, the group that we've got right now is pretty deep, and then you got to also include the superbacks with that group, and a group of running backs that are pretty talented too.
Venrick was flying around out there, looked pretty good.
Yeah, and nobody touched him for about a year, so it was great to watch him. Happy for him, and like I said, I think a lot of people asked me at media day if I thought he'd be full go. He's been full go all summer, so a little limited early, but full go for the most part all summer.
You get the sense those guys just kind of felt free to be back in the football field and back with a new season ahead of them?
Well, I think like everybody, this is in college football, this is an exciting time of the year. Just especially from a standpoint of from your last game till today, everybody talks about your record from last year, and we stunk. So, yeah, absolutely. You're glad to be talking about 2014 and done talking about 2013, and from a record standpoint. And it's a process you got to work through, and we're working through that right now. And helmets again tomorrow, and see how everybody looks running around in underwear again tomorrow.
With those 8 hours that you're able to have with the kids, how much further ahead do you think you are because of it?
Well, I think from a conditioning standpoint, we're definitely ahead because we're able to have more eyes on the guys. The 5 strength coach rule was what we had to go by last year, and then this year, our GAs were a part of every workout, so that gives us 9, 4 more sets of eyes, and then when our coaches were off the road, we were part of the workouts also. So just, helping our great strength staff, I really think assisted the guys. But more importantly, I thought especially the upper class leadership really took over ownership of the team. We're really working hard to reestablish our standards, and that's not from me, that's from them, and that's ownership from within the locker room. And really proud of how we started, the team meetings and meetings we've had on both sides of the ball. There's been a lot more talk from the players than there has been from the coaches, and it's been very productive.
You guys were obviously short in the spring at D-line. Where are you now?
Well, all those guys are back. Some might be a little limited day to day from just me and our medical team, just making sure we got those guys ready for the 12 regular season games and beyond, hopefully. So, I think they're in a good place. I think obviously getting those guys healthy adds back to our depth. And then we'll see if any of the young guys can compete to get into the depth. But, we won't know any of that stuff for probably 2 weeks.
Coach, what are the biggest things that you look for in the first week of practice?
Well, it's a process with the NCAA rules, right? You got to go in helmets for 2 days, and then helmets and shoulder pads for 2, and then you can finally go full. So, today, what was our retention like over our kind of football 101 that we've had over the last 2 weeks? Retention from spring ball. Adding those guys back that are healthy that we missed in spring practice, and then the freshmen seeing who can at least run around a little bit. And their reps will be a little limited here early, and then as we progress, their reps will increase just because we're resting guys, so we'll ease those guys into it.
You got everybody in the meeting room together. What was the message from you guys about camp, and what was the message from the players to the other players?
Well, from a standpoint of we only had 1 team meeting, so I'll address the guys again tonight. But what we talked about last night were our goals, and we also talked about reestablishing our standards and what those mean. So, we'll work through it. I have the guys 10 times in team meetings, Chris, and what I do is, first of all, I teach them what it means to be a Wildcat and what we value and who we are and what our vision is and our goals and our objectives. And then typically, one member of the leadership council of the senior class will address the guys, not every night, but pretty close to every night. And then just talking about our standards of what we want to do. First of all, our ethos and what it means to be a Wildcat from the locker room. And, our guys worked with the SEALs to design that. And then from that, what does it mean to play on both sides of the ball? And the player-peer perspective, from their perspective, what are they doing from an accountability standpoint? And what our expectations are. And they've set some lofty goals, turnovers per practice and on defense, and then, completion percentage. A lot of stat stuff, but more importantly, just an attitude and the way we want to play.
What does a healthy Benrick mean for your offense?
Well, he's explosive, Teddy. I mean, he's a young man that 2 years ago, arguably in this league, every time he touched the ball, something was going to happen, something positive for us most of the time. And not only as a running back, but also when we were able to get him out in space and showcase his ability to catch the ball, run routes.